Are y'all tuning in? Clone voices. Now, I'm going to take this off of this realm. Who wants to fly off of this realm with Trip? I'm going to shift it to the unknown this video. I'm going to get real deep. But anywho, clone voices. Whenever it comes to certain voices, you got to ask yourself, is it really their voice? For example, the past present presidents, was it their voice or was it a dub over? Was it someone else's voice? You can pay attention to certain individuals' lips whenever they talk, and especially whenever it comes to the Black Mirrors. Sometimes their lips will be a little off, and they say, oh, it's the so-called satellite or something is going on. And if they're live, some of them, yes, they are holograms. But is it really their voice? Do you think whenever it comes to their voice, do you think that's them? I don't think so. That's just how I feel. And a lot of y'all get fooled by it. You know, they could tell y'all, oh, it's a war going to go on and this and that, although the war is within. But at the same time, individuals got you on that broadcast while they're on another. So they use a certain tone and a frequency to connect with y'all's frequency. And use and go by scripts so that can control your frequencies and your sounds and vibrations. See, these individuals are using their sounds and vibrations on another level, communicating on another level with whenever they communicate with their hands, the signs and symbols and stuff. Pretty much some of these voices that y'all hear, that's not really their voice. It's something totally different. Just like, for example, do y'all, whenever you call out, you hear the same voice. You don't hear another voice. You know, you hear like a woman's voice. Say, please enter the PIN number and press pound. You know, and that's pretty much everywhere. How come certain individuals, don't switch it up? They keep it on that to control y'all's frequency on many levels. Do y'all feel my signals? So whenever you hear individuals, politicians talk and speak, that's not them. That's something totally different. That's something to connect with y'all's frequency that can actually connect to this so-called English language, while individuals communicating on another level to connect to other parallel worlds with certain holograms. And some of y'all get into y'all's feelings when you hear individuals, use the so-called N-word. You'll hear a celebrity say this and that. How do you know if it's really them? And it's always a footage. Don't you have to have permission to do certain things? See, y'all don't know the so-called system, the illusion laws. See, y'all don't know that. Just like, not to get off topic, just like the stage fake police brutality. Now, you got individuals on any so-called job or work putting their energy inside these buildings and the automobiles, the planes, and trains. They're putting their energy into that. So whenever it comes to them set up police videos that y'all watch, I had already talked about it just to refresh your souls. The police videos basically actors, all right? Because if they was really doing that, and of course you got individuals that are disturbed and crooked, like I said, everywhere. It could be McDonald's. It could be sweeping the floor, cleaning toilets, sweeping up hair in the barbershop. You're always going to have certain individuals that's disturbed and sneaky and get away with certain things. But whenever it comes to the law enforcement, individuals can't do that because they would really either lose their job or get in trouble. That stuff that y'all see on TV, that's staged just to control your frequency. And I know that for a fact, just to put that out there. And a lot of y'all went for it. Not to change this, not to switch it up on y'all, but I had to throw that in there, okay? So whenever it comes to the voices, you know, some of y'all get into y'all's feelings whenever you hear, you know, oh, a certain celebrity called such and such the N-word and blah, blah, blah. And how do you know if that's their real voice? How do you know that? You don't know. You're just going by what you hear and see. And seeing isn't believing. Hearing certain things can move you in many unknown directions. Do y'all feel my signals? But anywho, so whenever y'all hear these voices, just like here recently, some woman said something about, to me it sounded like she said naggers or something. But individuals, of course, my shade, they got upset and was talking about, well, if you don't see if that's an issue, then you're a part of the problem. No, you're a part of the problem because you're disturbed and you have issues with your soul because you're going by what they put out inside of the mirrors. So you're the issue. You're the problem because you're a programmed Muppet. And that goes out to any of you programmed Muppets, you clone-minded Muppets. You think you know what's going on and you don't know, you're not aware. But anywho, individuals get into their feelings when they hear certain voices. And certain voices set up to control y'all's frequency on many levels. Do y'all feel my signals? So it's just like the cartoons. Whenever it comes to the cartoons, you always have individuals do the voiceovers. And basically, that's what individuals are doing whenever it comes to politicians and certain things. That's how they communicate. And that's everywhere. It doesn't matter what so-called country, but it's really planets. And it doesn't matter. There's a bunch of green screen. Individuals know how to communicate with certain languages. Some know pretty much all of them. And whenever certain so-called celebrities die, some of them go into another country, or they could go underground. And I already talked about this. And pretty much, you know, some of them, like if it's a child, you know, it could be one of the society group's child. They say, oh, something happened to him, or a celebrity. Of course, they use 13 or 16. Whenever it comes to their ages, how do you know if they're really that age? You're just going by what you hear, right? I mean, do y'all feel my signals? You're going by what you hear. Because I don't really like to use the word right or left. But anywho, individuals use certain numbers and they say they're that age, but how do you actually really know? And they can use them later on in the future, use their energy and have them they could have them to act or be an R&B singer or a so-called rapper. Y'all wouldn't know what they look like 10 or 15 years later. They can change their identity, their hair, put implants in them. And y'all wouldn't even know it. But some of y'all crying and saying, oh, such and such died and stuff. Y'all don't actually know that. You didn't see the death certificate. And I said this so many times. You're not around. So how do you know? Because you're programmed to connect to certain sounds by certain voices in certain tones. And certain individuals, I feel like they're machines. But it sound like they're basically talking like how, you know how I sound, like how I'm talking. Machines can sound just like me. Certain things can mimic your voice. So y'all get into y'all's feelings, y'all get upset, and you don't know what's going on. Them voices, I don't trust them voices. The stuff that I hear, I don't pay attention to it because I already know it's nothing but a program. Voices can be a program too. Just like I said, whenever you get on your cell phone or you get on a landline phone, but everything is digital now. Even with landline phones, you hear that certain ringing sound or the busy signal. And back in the day, you just dial 0 and the operator used to connect you. Now, it's 9/11. Of course, 9/11, that's a number to basically 9/11 that dials into your souls on many levels. It's a shape-shifting number. Just to alert your souls. It's just like you're watching cartoons. Whenever you see politicians and certain individuals speak, and it could be athletes, singers, rappers, so-called celebrities, whoever you see in the black mirrors, whoever is out there like that in the black mirrors, that's connected to the illusion spotlight. If individuals really know how they sound whenever they use their sounds and vibrations, they can disconnect that because, like I said, there are certain society groups, they are at war with each other inside the illusion, and certain things basically connected to the parallel worlds. So, of course, they're going to use a certain machine. A machine that can pretty much use any voice or mimic any voice. Do y'all feel my signals? Because I know sometimes y'all see certain individuals whenever they speak live, their lips be kind of off. Basically, that's a glitch. Because like I said, some of them, there are holograms. So, of course, they're not going to use that individual's sounds and vibrations. They'll use a certain machine to control y'all's frequency because y'all connected to the system. You connected to many things, the devices, the certain lines, for example, you know, and I pretty much touched on that, but there are certain lines that's connected to the illusion with y'all's DNA attached to it. So individuals doing rituals with it and got y'all into a spell whenever it comes to that. So you're basically, like I said, it's just like the bells that I talk about, how bells control y'all's frequency. You got certain voices control your frequency. The dub over voices or the voiceovers, whatever y'all want to call it. Just to put that out there. But I just had to share that with y'all because some of y'all get into y'all's feelings. And this goes out to my unlocked souls because y'all understand. But individuals get upset and thinking certain individuals saying this and that. How do you actually really know? It's nothing but a machine. And I know it's a machine that can mimic any voices, like I said. Mimic any voices, sound like you, me, anyone. You don't know if they really sound like that. Just like, one more example. Like James Earl Jones, for example. Do the voiceover for Darth Vader. Now, the original guy doesn't sound like that. So individuals been showing y'all this and putting this in your face with the cartoons and other things, but some of y'all don't get it. I analyze and pay attention to a lot of things. Like I said, I'm from different dimensions that's not even connected to y'all's itty bitty little world. I know how things play out here. And I just enhance souls on many levels. Just so y'all can be alert. Alert your souls. Unlock your souls. You know, and don't get caught up into the quicksand. Do y'all feel my signals? Unlock your souls.